Hi everybody, Annalisa with ABC for Dance here. We're looking at turn in and turn out of the hip today. This is lesson number 8. So I decorated a pair of my stay-at-home comfy pants with some duct tape just so that you can get a better idea. So I have a lovely light orchid shade on the inner thigh. I have a bunch of little penguins in the center, and then I have some burgundy racing stripes on the outside. But I think it'll make it a little bit easier to see this demonstration. When my leg is in neutral, you should see mostly penguins. So you should see a light blue bevy of penguins going down towards you. When I turn my leg in, you're going to start to see more of my outer thigh area. So you're going to see that burgundy come more center. All right, and then when I turn my leg out, you're going to see more of the inner thigh. So what's happening is in my neutral alignment, my femur or my thigh bone is going straight towards you. When I turn in, the outer part of my hip is wrapping around and that femur is rotating inward in the socket. And then I come back to my center. When I turn out, the inner part of my leg is being presented as the outer part of my thigh scoots away. So a lot of times if you've taken ballet, you may, you're in first position or in fifth position, really present that heel, show me the inside of your leg. They want you turning out from the top of your hip. Fred's gonna come over and help me demonstrate. I'm not putting racing stripes on him. But again, if we look at Fred, here's the acetabulum, and then here's the top of your femur. When Fred turns in, that turn in happens up at the top and the rest of the leg follows. And then I come back to my neutral, and when I turn out, it's the opposite. So the movement is happening from this joint here. So the ball rolling in the socket joint is where my movement happens from, but we see it reflect all the way down our leg. Thanks, Fred. To practice this, we're going to lay down on our side. It doesn't matter which side you start with. I'm going to start with my taped up side. If your hip is really sensitive to being on a hard surface, fold a towel or something and put it underneath you just to support make it a little more comfortable. You want to start with your body in a nice straight line, and then you're going to take your legs and you're going to move them forward about 45 degrees. So if I was lying on a yoga mat, my body would be along the back edge of the mat, and then I would have just taken my feet to the front corner. I'm going to lift my top leg up to be about hip high, and hip high isn't as high as many of us think it is. It's just so my thigh is in line with my hip. And I'm going to turn my leg in. So as I turn my leg in, you're going to see that burgundy stripe rolling downward. Then I'm going to come back to my neutral. Again, you should see penguins. When I turn out, you're going to see more of the inner thigh. And then I'm going to come back to my neutral. So I'm turning in, coming to neutral, turning out, coming to neutral. Try that one more time, rolling in and neutral, and out and neutral. And go ahead and put that foot down. Now, as you're switching to the other side, just think in your mind, was it easier for my leg to turn in or to turn out? Did I have more range of motion in one direction or the other, or was it pretty even? I'm going to lay on my side again in a straight line, and then again bring my legs forward. Lifting my top leg up, I'm going to turn in, so this is going to turn my thigh down towards the floor, coming back to neutral, and then turn out, and coming back to neutral. Turning in, back to neutral, turning out, back to neutral. Let's try that one more time. Turning in, back to neutral, or turning out, back to neutral, and bring that leg down. So for me, the range of motion feels fairly even on both sides. However, when my left foot is rotating in the socket, it feels much easier for me. So while I don't feel a significant difference in my range of motion, I do feel a difference in the ease of motion. And that gives me some information that I want to think about when I'm in class Am I actively working on both sides, or am I kind of going with the flow on one side and working really hard on the other side? So I hope that explains a little bit about turn in, turn out, and what's happening up at your hip socket with it.